Hey everyone, welcome to another Teach and Play with Mandy and Michael. I'm Mandy, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl.
And I'm Michael, known as Paulum.
So I was away for a little bit, went to Essen with the rest of the Dice Tower gang, and we had a blast. So you'll have to listen to the upcoming podcast to hear some of the games we've played. But for tonight, we're taking a look at the game Speakeasy Blues by Artana Games, and it was designed by Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adamescu. So the premise of the game, we are basically putting together and running our own speakeasy. So lots of good stuff happening there.
Yep.
So I'm looking at the chat. There's some great comments in here. So get a little sidetracked. Parents, you're looking quite hot.
Thank you. I tried to get as close to 1920s as I could. You know, I've got my fedora off to the side, and anyway.
Looking smart. So very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
And so we'll get to the game. So Michael, why don't let you take over and give us a little bit of info about Speakeasy Blues.
Okay, so Speakeasy Blues, the first thing I'm going to start with is this is a prototype copy. Artana sent me the prototype, and a lot of the art style is definitely finalized, but a lot of the cards are still missing some of the art on it, but all the information that is required is still on the cards. And the Kickstarter is running right now. They're looking to have wooden pieces instead of the cardboard chits, etc., like any prototype. So this is prototype, keep that in mind. So we're looking to try and build and run the most successful 1920s speakeasy during the era of Prohibition as possible, trying to get this running using influence from various mob families or cops, trying to get wealthy collections into our speakeasy, and also celebrities as well. We'll try and get some celebrities in to up our street cred, if you will. Plus hooch. It wouldn't be a speakeasy without hooch, of course. So I'm going to start with setup. So you're going to have your board. You're going to put all the tokens out. So we've got favor tokens here. I'm going to describe what they all do, but just setup, you're going to have the three types of favor tokens, and I'll show you what those look like. So you're going to have three different symbols. So you've got the Marizano family, the Masseria family, and then that's one I've shown you. This one would be cops. So those are the three favor tokens, and you can try and get favor from those three groups. And that's going to be part of a set collection type mechanism within the game. You've got hooch tokens, which represent having drinks at your speakeasy, because this is during the times of Prohibition, so drinking is illegal, but these are going to let you get stronger actions if you do have hooch in your speakeasy. Wouldn't be a speakeasy without it. And then you're going to have jazz tokens on the board as well. So there are two types of jazz tokens. You have a ×2, and then a question mark, which is basically like a wild, but I'll explain those in greater detail once we get to the actions. And then you have money tokens off to the side. Again, they're looking to upgrade these to wooden tokens. Right now, what I'm working with are these money tokens that have 1s and 3s. They're reversible, 1 on one side, 3 on the other.
I'm following the chat. Apparently, I've missed some things over the past couple of weeks. So.
Okay. If there's any questions, let me know.
Yes, potentially.
Okay, then we've got cards. So we have society cards, collection cards, and crime cards. These are going to be set out. The society and collection cards will be set out shuffled, and then 4 cards are going to be face up. I'm going to set that up after I get a chance to show you some of the cards first. So here are some of the society cards. These are celebrities that you're trying to get into your speakeasy. So there's Babe Ruth and Willie the Lion Smith and Charles Lindbergh. And they're all going to have various traits as well that'll be in the corners. So for example, musicians or athletes.
So quick question from Ziggy Bobinator.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Ziggy Bobinator.
And yes, this is a prototype. This is actually still currently, I believe, on Kickstarter.
Yes, it's on Kickstarter for 10 more days, I believe is what it was. Another week and a half or so.
Right.
Collection cards. Get a couple different ones here. Will be wealthy items that you're trying to get associated to your speakeasy. So for example,
Yes, the art is very neat. but you'll notice in the game that some of it's not complete. So, but at least you'll see the direction of it, where it's going.
So here are some collection cards. So for example, you can get racehorses that are associated with your speakeasy, or automobiles, which would be a high ticket item back then. So you can get those collections associated with your speakeasy. And lastly, the crime cards will be either one of the two mob families or cops. And they will have abilities on them as well. So there's, that's one of the cop cards, and they will have ongoing abilities that I'll explain once we get to them. And then those are the two families that are represented that I was showing before. So I'll say the family names once more, Marizano and Masseria, but I will forget those as we're playing.
There's all little things to remember.
Yeah. So you will be setting those up. Once you have those set up, again, there's going to be 4 face up. The crime deck is going to be face down. You will then be creating the event deck. So there are event cards. This is going to serve as a timer in the game. And there are 2 types of event cards. So regular events that may have a happening or an event that would be ongoing throughout would be listed on these. And they are active for the entire turn that these are up. And you go through 1 each turn. So the game lasts 10 turns. You're going to have an event deck of 10 cards. And it gets randomized each time. So you would start with 7 of the event cards. So I will set this up. And then you're going to start with 2 of the contest cards. So these are contest cards. They have the same back as the event cards, but they have this ribbon in the corner to represent contest. These correspond to endgame collection scoring. So depending on the symbol, it's whoever has the most, in this case, baseballs would get 4 points, or whoever has the most money will get 4 points. So you're going to start with 2 of those shuffled in, shuffle that once more, into the 9, or into the 7, sorry. So then you have a 9-card deck, and then you're going to grab 1 more random contest card and put on top. So the first card of the deck will always be a contest card, and that lets you know the collections that you're trying to build for endgame scoring. So we'll grab 1 more from here, and that would be your 10-card event deck. You then have 3 of them put face up. So you'll have the first contest that you had put on top, and right away we know, wow, and there's all 3 of our contests right away.
My goodness.
And that was shuffled. You did see that was shuffled. Everything else can get set aside. Now what this means is the first 3 rounds will have no effect, the events will have no effect on gameplay, because this is just letting us know up front what the end game scoring is going to be. Now, that was purely by chance that we've got 3 of the actual end game scoring cards out right away. Sometimes you might not know until the last, or we'll say the 3rd last round, what one of the collections is that you would be going for. But in this case, we're going to know up front. So that can change gameplay as well from game to game, where you might not know what the contests are going to be until later on into the game. Okay, then each player has their speakeasy board. So this represents the speakeasy that we're trying to build. Across the top is the reputation track, and you're going to have a marker for that. Where that goes will depend on the speakeasy that we're trying to run. So we get our boards, and then we're going to get speakeasy cards. So there are 10 speakeasy cards in the game right now. Again, this is a prototype, so who knows? Each of these cards represents a speakeasy that I believe all of them did actually exist back in the 1920s. I did look some of these up, and I was able to find information on them. So there's the Bedford Nest, or the merry-go-round, and each one is going to have different starting stats. So looking at the merry-go-round, you'll get 1 bottle of hooch, 3 money, 1 crime card, and your reputation starts at -1. Now, looking at the reputations track, while I'm mentioning that, I'll show a better view. Actually, I'm going to show, I'll go this way for the Speakeasy board. So you can see the numbers across the top. They start at -3 and go up to 15. As you're moving up and down the track, those are points that correspond to endgame scoring. So anytime you see that starburst, that has to do with endgame scoring. And you're going to see that on all of the collection cards as well. And then you're going to be playing cards into your Speakeasy. So you've got 4 slots here. The first 2 don't have any money cost to them. They're free to play cards into them. The first time you play a card into that 3rd spot, you have to pay $1. And the first time you play a card into the 4th spot, you have to pay $2. But once you've paid that money once, that's it. You can keep laying cards in there. So throughout the game, you're going to be building a tableau of cards, and you can play cards on top of each one. The abilities that you get, though, are only ever going to be the top card showing in each stack. So if anybody watched our London playthrough, when we taught that, somewhat similar, where you're going to have multiple stacks, but you're going to keep playing cards on top, and it's only the top card that is active. However, the rest will count towards any collections that you're building. So we get 2 of the Speakeasy cards, and then we get to choose 1 to start with.
Oh boy, lots of money. Okay, there's 1. Oh, there's 2.
All right.
Why do I continue to get the same card every time we play this game?
So one of my options, did I go for this one last time? I don't think I did.
No, you
I was
thought
tempted
about it,
to,
but
yeah.
you didn't.
So one of them that I have is the Bergerac. That is all money all the time. You start with $8 and 0 reputation, whereas most other cards have a mix of various items that you start with. I still don't know how I feel about the all money option to start.
Well, you can give it a go. Now's a good time as any to try a different strategy.
Ooh.
I think
I still don't like it.
Gonna go with Epicure.
So I'm going for Le Coq Rouge. So I start with $1, 1 collection card, 1 society card, and 1 reputation. When you're taking cards to start, you're only going to be taking them from the top. So before we do that, I will give these a shuffle.
So you want to see what I'm looking at? These are the 2 that I'm looking at, but I think I'm going to pick Epicure, the top one. He seems to have a little bit more enticing items for me.
Did I leave enough room?
I think we might have to come over just a little bit there.
We're going to be putting these cards out here as well.
Fancy is right. Thank you.
Just. All right. Good.
Yep.
So as I was saying, when you get starting cards, you do not get to pick from the face-up display. It's always going to be random off the top of the decks. That's just for your starting cards, though.
Yes. These ones are great because you want all of them, but then you have to realize that they need to be on top in order for you to get the points.
Okay, so looking at my Speakeasy again, I get $1, 1 society card, and I'll explain that in a second. 1 collection card, so again, off the top, and 1 reputation. So that's where you have a marker on your reputation track, and you'll be gaining and losing reputation as the game goes on.
All right, so I get a bottle of the hooch.
Yep.
3 monies. And, ooh.
A favor token.
I get a favor
so I'll show that. So here's Mandi's starting Speakeasy. So again, it's the hooch, $3. That represents favor token and 1 reputation. So favor tokens, again, you've got the 2 families and the police. The hand on that represents the hand that's on the back. They all have that hand on the back of the token. Those are favor tokens. She gets to actually take any of the 3 tokens that she wishes.
So I will take this, the laurels.
Okay.
And then I have 1 reputation.
All right. So what we're trying to do is, there is a lot of set collection that happens in this game. There's going to be points at the end of the game distributed for whoever has majority of the 3 different types of favor tokens. There's going to be points given out for the collection cards, and I'll show you how these work. So I did show you the front of one. I'll show that in a little more detail now. Every collection card you have in your Speakeasy at the end of the game is going to be worth 1 victory point. But then, if you have any on top of one of the 4 piles at the end of the game, you will get the corresponding symbol according to the number that's in the top left corner. Now this one is 1 anyway, but let's say you had these theater tickets. So if this was your top card in any stack, every ticket symbol that you have in your Speakeasy, you'll get to score those points in the top left corner. So you're trying to build the sets, that's one step, but the other step is to make sure this is the top card in one of your stacks. Otherwise, you're only going to get the 1 point per card. So that's how the collection cards work. The society cards are going to have various benefits that will either be happening cards, which is a one-time right away benefit, or it could be, for the most part, they're going to be one-time benefits or an additional or improved action. So this would be an action card. This martini glass is one of the symbols on the board, so that's one of the actions that you can take. In this case, if you have this card as one of the top cards in the stack, you can spend a hooch and get an upgraded action. I'll explain all the actions later, but just know for now that these allow upgraded actions if it has the action symbol on the card. So to finish setup, the start player, I'll be going first. We'll be picking 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors of dice there. They're all the exact same, aside from color, of course. We'll be picking 3 sets. Which colors are irrelevant. Rolling them and then placing them on the board. And if there are any spots that cannot be filled with the corresponding dice, then you're going to re-roll. So in this case, I do have 2 of the crime symbols. I have 1 of the hooch symbols, and you fill them from left to right on the corresponding spots, going around. And I have 1 of the favor symbols. I have 1 extra crime symbol that cannot be put onto the board, so I re-roll until I can place it. Crime again.
Oh, there we go.
And there's collection. So that's our starting state for the board. Then I roll the remaining 2 sets. That's going to become our dice pool. And the way the actions in the game works is on your turn, you'll be taking 1 set of matching colors off the board, rolling it, adding it to the dice pool, and then picking one of the 3 sets that are now there to use those actions. So one of the things you need to consider is if there's an action you wish to take, but it's currently filled with both symbols, you'll want to remove at least one of those. So let's say there was a white and a blue here. I'd want to remove at least one of those sets of colors to open up a spot that I could then take the action. So before I get into my first turn, I'll cover what all the actions are. Starting in front of me, I have hooch. If you're placing a die in the first spot, you get 1 hooch. If you're placing it in the second spot, you get 2 hooch, but you need to pay a reputation. Now, it might be a little small on the screen. There's a little red dot there with a white line through it. Do we have anything up?
I don't think we have anything.
Not right now. Okay.
Oh,
I'll show, actually, it looks like this. Easier to move my board than that board. That right there represents losing reputation. So in that case, I start at 1. You would have to lose 1 reputation, but then you get 2 hooch. So it's a little bit more of an efficient move at the cost of reputation. Now I've got a separate symbol here representing the 2 because right now it only has the 1 hooch symbol printed on the board. So I have a separate symbol there, or a separate token to represent the 2. I'll go clockwise around. So if you place into any of these open spots for the favor tokens, you're going to get one of the favor tokens that are there corresponding to where you placed it. So if you look at the board, right now that die is within that column. So you would be taking that symbol plus getting the corresponding money on the current event card. So looking at the event card, so this is the Academy Awards. Again, this is one of the contest cards, which means At the end of the game, whoever has the most of those cameras within their speakeasy will get an additional 4 points. But you can also see there's money down the side here. So it goes 2, 2, 3, and that corresponds to how much money you get when you take these tokens. So 2 for the cops, 2 for that family, 3 for that family.
So we do have a question.
Yes.
Can we buy this game? It looks pretty. Yes, I agree. It does look very pretty. So it is actually on Kickstarter right now. So you cannot buy it now, but you can back it on Kickstarter. I think it's still about 10 days in the campaign, so you can definitely check it out.
Absolutely. And prototype. It does look pretty.
Right.
And it will look pretty.
It'll be better, right?
Yeah,
once you see
it'll
the
be
final
prettier.
product.
Okay, so yes, any spot that you place it in, you take the corresponding favor token and the money based on whatever the event is. So that money will change every single round as those cards cycle through. And again, looking at those spots, if you're taking either of the mob family tokens, you lose a reputation, which makes sense. You're inviting mob into your speakeasy, you might start to lose reputation because of that. But if you take the cop token, you do not lose any reputation, but generally it will be worth less money. Moving on, both of the crime spots are the same. You're going to be losing a reputation, but when you take that action, you get 3 cards off the top. You keep 1, the other 2 go to the bottom in the order of your choosing. And again, those cards are going to be either mob cards or cop cards, and I'm going to explain those in greater detail once somebody's actually taking that action. Looking at the jazz spot, again, both spots are the same. This does not correspond to where you're placing it. It doesn't matter which spot you place it in, you get to take one of those tokens. The ×2 lets you do an action twice when you spend it, and the question mark is a wild. You get to change a die to any face that you wish, and then place the die.
So before you continue, we do have a comment about that it's, a very attractive looking game, but it looks fiddly. I mean, I played a lot of fiddly games. I'm sure, a lot of people have as well. I didn't think this was too bad. I mean, yeah, there are little bits and stuff to set up, but I didn't find it any more than some of the other games.
No.
I mean, you really the dice will change often. And
once we start playing, you'll see that it's not that fiddly.
Right.
There's,
it just seems
there's
a
a
lot
bit of
right
setup.
now.
Yeah, there's a bit of setup. But once
Definitely.
it's set up, it moves quite smoothly between turns and can actually go quite quickly, especially in a 2-player game.
Yeah. So let us know if your opinion changes once we start getting into gameplay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of explanation up front to try and tell you what we're about to do. I'm not going to explain everything. I'll explain each action in greater detail once we're doing it. But right now, this is just an overview of what each action does. So 2 more to cover. The collection. If you go in the first spot, you get to take one of the face-up collection cards. And when you do, you need to pay the cost of the number in the top left corner. So if you were to take the Man of War horse, it would only cost you 1. But if you were to take the Strand Theater, it would cost you 5. Now, that's where you really want to make sure you get those collections at the end, because you're paying to get those cards, but by themselves, they're only worth 1 point each. And that'll make more sense once we get towards the end of the game and I start explaining how our speakeasy is working. But when you take that action, you get to take either one of the face-up cards paying the cost, or from the top of the deck, and you'd still have to be paying the cost, but now it's random. If you go into the second spot, you will have to lose a reputation, but you also get a $1 discount off of whichever collection card you wish to purchase. And lastly, we have the society cards. These are the socialites and the famous people that we're trying to get into our speakeasy. Again, first spot gets you in for free. The second spot you have to pay a reputation, but lets you take any of the 4 cards available or 1 off the top. Before you do either of these 2 actions, though, you always have the option, once per turn, to spend $1 to wipe the entire board and put out a fresh set of cards. You also have the option of spending $1 to re-roll the entire dice pool before you pick your actions. So I think that's enough explaining. I have the first player token. I'll be going first. All right.
Before you go, I just want
Sure.
to say hey to everyone in the chat.
Yes.
So Tulsa, Daniel's in the chat. Has been a while.
Excellent.
So hello, hello.
Glad you can make it.
And Christopher Chung. Is this the Chris that I know? So if it is, yay. If it isn't, that's okay too. Yay. Glad you
anyway.
could join the chat. I was not sure, so I wanted to make sure.
Excellent.
But thank you for joining us.
Yep. Glad we have people in the chat. Okay. I get to start. So on your turn, again, like I said, you're going to be taking 2 dice of the same color off the board. Ideally, you're opening up spots that you're going to want to play on. Roll them, and then put them into the dice pool. So I just need one quick second here to consider what I wish to do. And here's where I will show you. This is a great card to get for free. However,
oh dear.
So this is where the planning actually has to come in. So this was my free collection card. And at the end of the game, it will be worth 5 points if, and only if, I have something that has horses are worth the collection points at the end of the game on top of one of my 4 stacks. As it stands right now, it will be on the bottom of one of my 4 stacks. There are ways that you're allowed to swap cards within your speakeasy, but you need that action to be able to do it. You're not allowed to freely swap these around. So this is a tough spot for that card to be, unless I can get another horse card to go as the top card by the end of the game. Otherwise, those 5 points will only be worth 1 point.
Someone had mentioned the box size. I actually don't know how large the box is going to be. Did they mention to you?
No, they did not.
So potentially, if Artana is in the chat, I know that they potentially might be in and out. So if they are in the chat, if they could respond to that question, that would be fantastic.
It would not be a regular large format because assuming that the board is going to be the same size, and I assume it would be, this is a 4-fold board. So it does fold down to this size.
Right.
So I don't see the box being that large. I didn't get it in a box because this is just a prototype. It was just in a bag, so I don't know the actual size of the box, but I don't imagine it would be a very large box.
Okay.
Yeah. And that may change as well with the Kickstarter depending on how many upgrades they get to the components, etc. Okay. And I guess I should show what the other card is that I got, my free society card. So with this society card, if I take the favor token action, I can spend a hooch, and not only do I get a favor token, I also get another society card. That can be a pretty strong action, and again, it's only if that is the top card of one of my stacks, which it is right now.
What to do?
Indeed. I don't have any hooch right now, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the blue ones off, because I do have that card that gives me an upgraded action if I can spend the hooch. I want to try and get some hooch. So I took one off of the spot that you can get in for free, and I'm hoping, there's no hooch available, I'm hoping I can roll some here. Yeah. I cannot. That is a lot of society actions. So now what I'm going to be doing is taking one of these 3 pairs of dice, so you have to take the same color, and then doing the 2 actions that are on them. So as an example, there aren't any crime cards out here right now on the dice, but let's say one of them did have the crime marker on it. Both spots are taken, and if you cannot take that action, then you're losing one of your 2 actions for your turn. What would end up happening, let's say one of this was a crime action, I could take the other action and then I would just re-roll this die, place it on the board, not get to take the action. So it would still go on the board, but you would lose an action. I was really wanting hooch. So
change of the plans. This happens a lot with the dice.
Here's what I'm going to do. I only have $1, but this is one of the options you have. Again, you can do this once per turn. I'm going to spend my $1 and re-roll the entire dice pool.
Oh, wow. Must be pretty bad.
There's a hooch. That's a start. So I've got hooch and collection, favor, and crime and jazz. Huh.
Well, you got your hooch.
I did get my hooch.
Uh-huh.
The other one that goes with it is the collection, which you do have to spend money to get collection cards, and I have no money. Oh, boy. All right.
Tight.
So here is what I am going to do. I'm going to start spending my... I'm going to start spending my reputation. So I'm going on the second spot, which I do have to spend 1 reputation, so I go down 1 on the track. I get 2 hooch tokens. And then my other action is the collection, where I have to spend another reputation, but I get a $1 discount on a card from the collection And I do see one here that is worth 1, so I'm going to take that and put it on top of that one. So these are 2 collection cards, and as long as I can keep, like I was saying, as long as I can keep a horse on the top of any of my stacks at the end of the game, I'm going to get these points as true points, 5 and 1, instead of just 1 each. Or actually, I should say, in addition to 1 each. They will always be worth a point each.
You done?
That gets refilled. Yep. And that is me.
All right. So,
actually, before you go, there's
yes.
one more action on the board that I have not mentioned yet. And it'll come into play more as we fill our speakeasy. The middle action on the board is a question mark. That is the soiree option, or action, I should say. And what that lets you do is, when you take that action, and it can be with any die, that's why it's got the question mark, you get the bonus in the bottom right of every card that is on top of your deck. So right now, these are the 2 cards that are on top of my decks. So once I take that soiree option, I would get 1 money and 1 reputation. Once you start delving into the crime cards, you can start getting some negative effects on these. But we'll cover that when we start looking at those cards. Okay, over to you.
all right. So I think at this point, we will just roll the 2 white dice.
Sure.
Oh, that's horrific.
Getting a lot of pairs going here.
Yeah, we want to try and break that up a little, but I don't feel like spending money in order to do so. However, do I want jazz tokens early? I feel like I need things on my board, but I need money in order to obtain them. Not looking so good right now. So I think what I will do, I will actually take the 2 blue dice, and I will actually place 1 in jazz, which means I will lose 1 reputation. However, I will be taking a multiplier. So I don't know if you can see that, ×2 on an action.
So she'll be able to spend that token to repeat any action that she takes. 1 time, obviously.
And I will head over here to the crime area, and I will lose another reputation, because that's going to be payment for that. And oh boy.
And you get 3 cards.
See what I have?
Yep.
Oh, well, you know.
Okay. So when you take the crime action, you take 3 cards. You're going to keep 1. The other 2 go to the bottom of the deck, but the one you choose actually goes face down into your speakeasy. They go face down. You can only flip them face up on your next turn, and they will have differing effects based on whether it is one of the mob families or whether it is a cop. If it's a mob family, it will more often than not have negative effects for the other people at the table. And they're a 1 time. You flip it over and you do that right away. That's it. If it's a cop, it will have ongoing effects that you're allowed to use once per turn. But the cops have the additional benefit of, if somebody flips over a mob card and you have a face down cop, you can flip that up to negate the mobster's effect. So you can just shut them down. You can have the cops ready to go to shut down any mobsters that get flipped up. But again, they need to be face down. So if you have a cop face up that is serving you that once per turn action, he's not going to serve you any purpose if somebody flips over a mob card.
Okay, so these are the ones that I ended up picking. So you can see the different symbols to see which one's a cop, which one's a mobster, and you can even tell by the little symbol down here. So I decided that I'm going to take this one here.
I'm not going to look because it will be going face down.
Exactly. Yep. And the other 2 are going to go to the bottom back. So that's going to go face down here.
Okay.
And then these 2 go at the bottom of the deck. Wow, that was a very uneventful turn.
So now that puts a little bit of pressure on me because I don't know if that is a mob family or a cop. If it's a mob family, then, or if I suspect it's a mob family, I might want to try and get some crime cards just to find a cop card that I could put down as protection against that card, just in case she does flip it over. Okay, but that was the end of your turn?
It is.
So then the first player token passes to the left. In this case, it's a 2-player game, so we're just going back and forth. And you get to go first.
All right. Oh yes, we're not resolving these as of yet.
Oh, sorry. Yes, actually.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, and the event cards. I forgot about that because
Well,
they are all
these.
they are all contest cards, but you do still resolve these. So once you change around, then these cards rotate through. This is now the active event for any abilities on it. Again, that is just endgame scoring, but also it changes the monetary values of taking these favor tokens. So I'll show you the difference here. It's not a huge difference this round, but that top card was our first one where we got 2, 2, and 3, depending on the favor token we were taking. Now we only get 1, 2, and 3. So if you're taking a cop favor this round, you're only going to get $1 instead of 2.
All right, so I will take the 2 red dice, give those a roll. Wow, I just seem to be rolling that a lot. Some jazz and crime. Oh dear. I need money at this point, so I think, wow, my reputation is just not doing so hot. But, I may have to do a reroll here. Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to spend $1, which means I need to make this 2. And I shall do a reroll.
All right.
And I'll do it over here. Oh, goody.
Some nice variety there.
Yes, we needed it badly. All right, it's a bit of a mishmash. However, I wanted to take... Oh, this could work, actually. Let's just make sure that I have funds to do so. Yes, I do. All right, so we'll take these 2 here. And we'll head over to Society. Okay. And I can take one off the top blind, or take one that's open. Well, right now, ooh. That's looking kind of good too. But I need money at this point. All right. So I'm taking Elizabeth Arden.
I'll show that
one. Show that one? Yeah. It's going to give me 3 monies.
So Elizabeth Arden, that is an immediate. You take $3. And if she's on top of your deck, there are no further benefits to that. That is just a one-time $3. The only thing that would have any further effects is if you ran a soiree, then you would get this for your reputation.
Correct. Perfect. Thank you very much. So that gives me a bit of funds here, and that kind of works out because I need that for my next action.
Collection.
Correct. Now, depending on how rich I want to be here on this, oh boy, that seems a little much. Spending all the monies. So I think we'll just be a little modest, and I'll take Nosferatu.
Okay,
for
going
2.
to the movies.
Yes, and we will put that away for 2. And now I'll actually have to, actually no, I can place that here.
And just keep it so that you can see that bottom card. Yeah. So when you're placing cards in your Speakeasy,
and that will be the end of my turn.
They do go on top of each other, but you still leave that top border revealed so that you can see the various collections you have going within your Speakeasy. And don't forget, there are mechanisms within the game that will allow you to swap cards around. But right now, none of those have come out yet.
So the question of the night, what is the drink of the evening?
Yes, theming this one. So there are some games that we have done live streams for where it was very difficult to get a thematic drink going. Not so much with this one. 1920s speakeasy, prohibition, no problem theming this one. This is a drink that was that actually came to be during 1920s prohibition, called the bee's knees. And the reason it's called bee's knees is it is sweetened with honey. It was one of the first drinks to be sweetened with honey. The reason they sweetened drinks back then was because you were using a poorer quality of gin, because it was just homemade gin that was called bathtub gin.
Yep, brewed in the bathtub. That's literally what Mark just said.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Nicely done.
So what they did with bathtub gin, and the reason they called it bathtub gin wasn't because it was necessarily made in the bathtub. It was because you couldn't get the jugs they used in the sink to fill it, but you could fill them from the bathtub. So that's where bathtub gin came from. However, it was really low quality gin, so that's when they started sweetening drinks to try and cut the taste, or the taste of the gin. But you had to take what you could get back then, right? So now you've got quality gin, you don't need to sweeten them as much. Anyway.
Dobby, you're killing me. Toilet wine, that's a new one for me, so thanks for that.
So yes, bee's knees.
All right.
Over to me?
Yippers.
Okay. Let's see here. I know the action I want to take.
So while you're thinking, this game is not overly long. It'll probably take naturally about 45 minutes to an hour. I would say an hour. It's going to take a little longer because we are going through things in a bit more detail, but playtime is not an extremely lengthy game.
No, especially 2 players. 2 players, I think, once you know the game, under an hour, no problem. So there's 2 things you need to consider. if I already know what I wish to do, I can see within the dice pool whether or not any of those actions are currently available. If not, then I'll have to get lucky with my roll. The other thing is, if I know what I want to do, is a spot even open on the board? So for example, if I wanted to take a collection card, I'd want to take one of these to open a collection spot. But the spots I want right now are open, so that's fine. I'm going to go with these two.
Okay, so Jessica is in the chat. If this is the Jessica I'm thinking of, I have a question for you.
Okay, representing Artana.
I think it's Jessica. I believe that's who it is. So,
okay.
Somebody had a question about the box size. So, if Jessica, I don't know if you're hearing this, but if you can maybe give some insight onto the size, about the size of the box, because people have been asking. So, thank you very much.
All right, so I think I will take these. First action I'm going to take is getting some favor. Yeah, I'm going to get some favor from the Marizano family. And that will also get me $3 based on the event card. And I have to lose a reputation to do so.
Wow, we're not reputable characters.
No,
so
we're hurting for reputation right now, that's for sure.
Yikes.
And then I'm going to get some more hooch. I'm stocking up. I'm going to draw people in with my hooch.
No, you got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
All right, so with that being said, I think I'll roll red. Actually, no. What am I saying? We're done. We're back to me.
Right.
Getting ahead of myself.
Yep.
So see how fast it goes?
And that's how quickly it can go, indeed. So that's the end of the round. Again, that's another contest card. Goes to the side. Advance all the events. So that is the third and potentially final contest card. So you saw when I built the deck, I had put 3 contest cards in there. There is one event card that you actually end up swapping out for a 4th event. You don't know if that's going to be in there, though, because these cards are randomized from a deck. So not all cards are going to be in play. So looking at the event cards, the contest cards, we have the cameras, the set collection for the cameras, $4. Whoever has the most money will get an extra 4 points. Sorry, I should say 4 points. Most money, 4 points. And then the most business people in their speakeasy will also get an additional bonus 4 points. All right, over to me. I will.
Okay, so Jessica did come back to us from Artana Games about the box size, and it is not yet finalized.
Okay.
Still need to see how many stretch goals are reached. So
that's what I figured, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yep.
So adding more things, slightly bigger box, but to be determined.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
You re-rolled the reds, didn't you? See, I gave away my secrets.
I did, and I did not get what I wanted.
Oh, boy.
All right, I'm going to spend $1. And re-roll.
Oh, we've been doing that a lot. I don't remember doing that as many times last time.
Let's see here. I still didn't get what I wanted. Oh, no. Not good.
Well, it's not terrible.
Not what I wanted.
Oh.
All right. Well, I will make this work.
Yes. Tim Gunn says, make it work. It's my fashion reference for the game. I love this. I want this game. Who wants to play with me?
Here we go.
Someone after my own heart in the chat. I see a game like I want it. That's it. Done.
Absolutely, yes. I'm going to go with Society first. That spot does not cost me any reputation, which is good because I have no reputation right now. I'm not a very reputable person, but I'm going to fix that by getting Douglas Fairbanks into my speakeasy. So here's another ability. I can spend $1, get 3 reputation, and that's exactly what I need right now.
That's the one I wanted.
So the first thing I'm going to do is spend $1 so that I can unlock that 3rd slot in my speakeasy, and then I'll spend another $1 to get the 3 reputation.
That's unfortunate for me.
And that does not refill yet. That'll refill at the end of my turn. Then I will also go there to get 1 more hooch. Building up the hooch. That is me.
Well, that seemed to be all of the actions that I wanted to take. So now we have to find something else to do. That can be arranged. So with that being said, I think we will roll the red dice. Okay, well, you know, it's not terrible. Not exactly what I wanted. Oh dear. Tis the question. I think I need the reputations, like nobody's business. But I will end up having to pay for it. Do I really want to do that? It's not the end of the world. Okay, so I think I actually will do this. Hold on, barring that I have enough money. So if I do that, that's going to be 1. If I decide to go with that, it's $1. And then I'm going to have to place something here for 2. I think that would cover money-wise. So I think I'll be all right. So I think we'll do that. And first, I will do this one here. Yes. And that will give me the card of my dreams, Jimmy Doolittle, which is going to have some reputation.
2 reputation.
But I'm going to place that here, which means I have to pay 1.
Yep.
Which is going to technically give me 2. And then we now come over to the collection and put that there. And I'm going to take Metropolis, which has the same symbol as one that's already on my board.
Very good.
And that's going to be for 1, so I pay another 1. And I'm actually going to place that here.
Okay.
Now I believe this happens.
That happens right away.
Right away.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
So I need it desperately. So 1, 2, reputation, and that card is pretty much dead.
All right. So these will refill.
Yes. And then I think we are.
And your first player. So now we start getting into some of the effects of cards. So next up we have the Charleston Craze. So now we have already played all 3 of the endgame cards. That was purely by chance that it was the first 3 cards that came out. That symbol basically means every player gets to swap 1 card within their speakeasy. So that's one of the ways that you can start swapping cards, but it is not that often you get that ability. So you do have to be careful how you plan out your speakeasy. So right now, we can each swap a card in our speakeasy. I'm frankly okay with the way my speakeasy is going.
Mine is shaping up quite nicely, so I'm
okay with that.
Yeah.
And your first player?
Oh, look at that. Surprise, surprise. Oh boy. I need money. Why do I keep saying that? I apparently need money. Well, there's only one place I can go for that at the moment. So let us, oh dear. What do we want to roll? Let's roll the green. Let's see what happens there. Wow, exactly what I needed. So I'm actually going to keep those 2 that I rolled.
Sure.
Pop on over here and grab a hooch.
Okay.
And then, well, I really don't want to lower the reputation, so we're going to go here. I'm going to take a shield.
Yep.
Which is going to give me 2 monies.
Yep.
So we'll flip that over to 3.
Perfect.
And that is the end of my turn.
Okay. I'm going to take those greens and really hope. No.
Not what you wanted.
No, I need money as well. I have $0 right now. All right, $0. That is not a good amount of dollars.
No, $0 is never good.
No.
Oh, so I see we've got some new additions in there. I see we've got Nerfenstein. Hello, hello. It's been a while.
Hey, good to see you.
And Annette, Netters Plays.
Netters.
Yay! I'm so glad you're able to join us. So anybody who doesn't know, Annette and I have a history. We basically started doing reviews and gaming and things exactly around the same time. And so really, really important person in my life. So I'm so glad you could join us.
Okay. How do I get money?
Speakeasy Gaming Cafe. That is a good idea, Mark. I agree. I would totally go. I mean, gin and tonic is my jam, so I'd be all over it.
And we do have a couple speakeasies in Ottawa, speakeasy themed bars.
Right.
There's a great restaurant called for anybody in Ottawa, Local Union 613, which the restaurant is fantastic. And if you don't know, you would never even know that there is a bar downstairs. You go down to the washrooms, towards the washrooms, and there's a bookshelf, and you pull on that bookshelf, there is a full bar underneath there. Yeah,
it's
with
crazy.
seating and its own bar, and it is created and designed as though you're in this speakeasy downstairs.
Exactly.
It's very well done. No gaming though, so that would be a great addition.
Thanks, and that likes the ensembles today. So I actually had on a really cool dress, but I had it all planned out, and then at work it ripped. And anyway, long story short, all black would have to do. It's slimming.
All right, I think what I need to do, I'm going to go a roundabout way to get money. I'm going to take these two. So here's how a soiree works. I did mention that a soiree is something that's possible. Is that the way I want to do it though? Oh man. I really wish that roll had helped. And I don't even have $1 for the re-roll. That's where I'm stuck.
Feeling a little poor?
I'm feeling extremely poor, yes.
I have all the money.
I'm feeling extremely poor. Sorry, bear with me one moment here. I was hoping to do that, but I need money to do that. That's only going to get me $1. Okay, yep, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to start with getting,
Okay.
a collection card. I have no money though, and you have to pay for a collection card. Going on this spot, you pay a reputation, and now you get $1 discount off of one of the things out here. So the only thing I can get would be this car collection card, because it would only cost one, and I get a $1 discount off of an item. So that is the one I'll take, and I'm going to put that in the 3rd slot. Then I will host a soiree. So I'm throwing a party, and I get the benefits of whatever the top cards are, the top cards are in each stack. So yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
So I've got a plus sign, which is increasing my influence, so I get 1 influence. And then the other 2 are dollar signs, so I get $2. Now, ideally, I would have had something in that 4th slot so that I get more of a benefit of hosting that party, but I need $2 to even unlock that 4th slot. Now I have $2, so that's a start. And that is my turn, so this will get refreshed. I was 2nd player, so turn changes. This card is now out of the game. I'll throw that over here. These rotate in. No active event this time around because the current card is nice and quiet. But we do have a new breakdown for money. So 2, 3, and 3 would be the money you get for the corresponding favor tokens. And I start. So let's see if I can get what I need this time around.
Yes, Annette's talking about the art, and I have to agree with you. I was actually surprised that that was on the cover, the cigarette with the woman on the cover. And I have to tell you, that was something that concerned me as well. Yes, I understand during that time, yes, a lot of cigarettes, a lot of smoking, but it could have been easily just as nice with the person singing or, you know, without the cigarette. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's funny you say that. That was the first thing I noticed on the box. So hopefully, I mean, art's not final, so maybe that'll be changed.
All right. Oh, there is nothing there that helps me this time.
So Ed's asking, is it worth kickstarting? We'll watch a little bit of the playthrough, and afterward we're going to do like a quick kind of overview, like review of our thoughts, and then hopefully that'll give you an idea of what we thought about it, and then, you know, you can jump in, all of you can jump in the chat and let us know if you agree, disagree, and what your thoughts are as well.
I paid $1. I'm re-rolling.
See? Yeah, Nerf and Seed said the same thing about the smoke. I noticed the exact same thing.
And I still did not get what I need. This is horrible. Okay. It's time to change gears here then. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go down to the jazz area first, and I'm going to take one of the wild tokens because I am having really bad luck at rolling what I need. This will just let me get what I need. So that's one. And you can use these tokens together as well. So if I had a wild and a ×2, I could change a die face to whatever I wanted, place it in the corresponding spot, use a ×2 token, and take that action twice. What you cannot do is use 2 times 2 tokens. You can only use 1 token per die. One of each token per die. So that got me the wild, and then I think I just need to do that right away. Yep, I'm going to do that right away. So I'm going to spend the wild, because you can, as soon as you get these, you can use them right away.
Right.
I'm going to change the society into favor. And I will place the favor token here.
Okay, that's not good.
I lose 1 on reputation because I am going for one of the mob families. I do get $3 for that. And so this is where I'm going to use the card that I currently have on the top of one of my decks. So again, with this one, when I take the favor token action, I can spend a hooch and get an upgraded action. So I get the favor token plus I get a society card. So I will spend a hooch to do that. And I will take this one.
Oh, come on.
And I'm putting it here, which does mean I need to spend $2, so I'm down to 2 to open up that 4th spot.
You're legitimately taking the ones that I've been looking at.
That is the end of my turn.
That's it. This is not going to end well for me. Unbelievable.
Welcome to a 2-player game, eh?
I know. Unbelievable.
I don't think that's something we mentioned yet, actually. This plays 2 to 4.
Yes.
You can play up to 4 people.
Wow, that's upsetting. I had plans, and I'm afraid to draw blind. Yeah, that's not so good. Womp, womp, womp. So a question for you while I'm playing. When is the game coming out? And that Jessica is also in the chat, so she may be able to answer this as well, but you may have an idea of when that's supposed to be. Oh, someone beat us to it. June 2018.
There you go. Now, keep in mind, this is a Kickstarter. This is prototype. The Kickstarter is running, I believe, for 10 more days. That is their approximate date that they're hoping to ship it. Now, having said that, Artana is pretty good. I've backed every Kickstarter they've done, actually, now that I think about it. And they've always been really good with their timing. But I still never trust a Kickstarter date. I'm over 150 projects now. And I know that Kickstarters tend to run late. So I never trust a date. But Artana has been good with their previous projects. Not only in time, but also in communication, which is also key. I've had Kickstarters that just go silent. And then you never know if they're still around or not. So Artana's been good with that.
Oh, no, I don't want that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two. I'm going to put this here and take a hooch.
Okay. And don't forget, you always have this option as well to take 2, but at the cost of her reputation.
No, we don't want to do that. And again, it's not really full, but I feel like I need to amp this up a little bit so I can start spending. So
hosting the soiree.
Soiree, which is going to give me
party time.
2 reputation.
Yep.
And 1 money.
Okay.
Yep, that's it for now.
Okay, and that is the end of the round. Back over to you.
Yes.
This is gone. New event. And
Jessica has confirmed approximately June 2018.
Okay. So the next event is called Union Unrest. Speakeasy abilities and effects cannot be used this round.
Oh, lovely.
So that's a little punishing if you're trying to get your engine going, and then this just basically says your engine is stopped for the whole round. And then we've got new money, 2, 3, and 4. So now that mob family is worth the most money.
So you have a question about coins. How are the coins on the things you've backed with Artana? While you're doing that, I can play my turn.
Sure. I've always gone for deluxe versions of games before. So, for example, I've got the Tesla versus Edison with the... which company? I can't remember if that was...
Oh, boy, this is a hot mess.
The custom insert, anyway, the custom wood insert. I can't remember which company made that. I'm trying to think of coins, though.
Wow, this is
In
terrible.
Tesla versus Edison, they don't actually have coins. They have, it's like hard cardboard money, which is actually rather satisfying. Hard to describe properly, but it's a nice card stock for their money. It almost looks like stocks at that point. And I do have Tesla versus Edison Duel as well. We actually did a stream of that and had some fun with that one.
Wow, this is
I'm not sure if there's any money in their games that I have, now that I think about it.
Okay,
Now,
so
I have many games that have that have coins for sure, metal coins.
oh yeah, so you mentioned the broken token custom.
It was broken token. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so while you were chatting, I didn't like my options here,
Okay.
so I paid a
Paid a
dollar
buck
to
to
reroll.
reroll. Yep.
Oh dear. Well, I think I'm gonna have to lose some reputation. I didn't want to, but I don't have a choice, and I think I might have to spend some money, which I also didn't want to do. Wow, this is looking like a really expensive turn, which I don't
Running
think
the
I like.
Speakeasy is not cheap.
Apparently not. So I think what I might do here, could do that. I get a discount, or I could do that for a discount. I might do that as a discount. I'm trying to avoid. Okay.
There's nothing to see here.
Yeah, there's lots to see over there. So that for 4, I can get a discount for $3, but then that doesn't really leave me with anything to pay for it here, but I can cover this because that's no longer usable. So I can get that for 3, and I will not have to pay. Okay, so I'm going to choose this as an option. So I'm going to go here, which makes me lose a reputation, but I'm going to get a discount on this.
Yep.
So it's going to cost me 3.
Yep.
And that is going to go right on top of there because that card is no longer doing anything for me.
Sure.
And then I'm going to take the gun and place it on crime, lose a reputation, draw my 3 cards. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh boy, some of these are really good. Oh, that's awesome. But, oh my goodness, I don't even know what to do. I do actually have to look one of these up. So we have a little listing of all of these, and some of them are more clear to me than others.
I won't look at where you're looking on the sheet.
Yeah, what am I even thinking about? No. That is going to go right there.
Did you want to show what you're putting face down?
I sure will. Let me just put these away.
Even though I'd like to peek, I will look away.
Look away. So that's the one I decided on. I'll explain it when I decide to, or if I decide to use it.
So again, any crime cards that you get go face down the turn that you get it. But after that, any further turns, you can flip them up at any point. So if it's a cop card, I haven't received any yet to show you, but if it's a cop card, it will have an ongoing bonus that you get to use every round. However, keeping a cop card face down gives you the benefit of being able to shut down a mob card that gets flipped face up.
Okay, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay, so over to me.
Yes.
So I would like to make use of the cards that I have currently in my Speakeasy, but I cannot because of the Union unrest this round. So
there's a couple questions in here for Jessica. I don't know if she ended up seeing this or not. So someone is looking if there's a stretch goal to increase the player count. So right now it's only up to 4. So
I haven't seen that and looking through what the potential stretch goals are. But again, Jessica from Artana is in the chat.
Right.
And she might be able to answer that, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in the Kickstarter project myself, though. Okay. I'm going to go with, what do I want here? I don't mind one of those. I'm going to refill this. Okay, I'm going to roll these. No, sir.
I don't like it.
No, I am not getting what I need tonight. Oh boy. So with these shut down, that is tough.
Wow, I just realized how poor I am.
Yeah. And I might have to spend a buck just to re-roll at this point.
Oh boy. Well, wow, I feel like we're really suffering with money this game.
Whereas the last game, I think we both had something like $15, $16, $17.
Yeah,
money was not an issue at all. Yeah.
So it's funny how things have changed based on the cards and the rolls we're getting. Come on, you want to re-roll.
I don't want to spend the money though. That's half my money right now to re-roll. Oh, and I can't even go there. Oh, that was poor planning. Okay. Ooh.
Yep, do it.
Oh, man. All right. All right. I'll reroll.
That's good. Works for me too.
Okay. There's some options here. We have options. And I think this is the one I'm going to go for.
Looking at, is it Ange Woman 143? I love popping out nice cardboard pieces for games. Oh, well, I have a good one for you. When I was in Essen, I had to pop out all the pieces for palaces. So if you know the...
I don't know if there's anything worse than the colonists.
No.
That was a day of punching. That was a punch party.
It
That
wasn't
was,
that bad.
I don't even know how many sheets there
The pieces of
were.
palaces are this big.
Okay.
And it's like sheets upon sheets of that.
But I hope that most gamers do enjoy that, because otherwise they're in the wrong hobby.
I'm not going to lie, I had regrets punching it, but the game, I enjoyed the game.
Okay, I'm going to go down to Jazz, lose a
Reputation.
Thank you. Drew a blank there. To take a wild token.
Okay.
And then I will go get some favor from the Marizano family, which, again, I have to lose a reputation. So I'm at the bottom of the track, so I have no more reputation to lose. And I get $4 for that. Now, if you cannot spend the reputation to take an action, you cannot take the action. You can't just bottom out and figure, I don't have anything to lose at this point and keep going there. No, if you can't pay the reputation, you cannot take the action.
Mm-hmm.
That is me.
All right, so
and that was the end of the round.
Correct.
So that switches Union Unrest out of the game. Next we have, oh, and there it is, Friendly Wager.
Oh, boy.
So Friendly Wager, this is the one I was talking about when I said that the 3 contests are already into the game and we know what they are. There was the potential of one more. This is the one that does it.
Right.
So with this one, I'm just going to see the timing on this.
Yeah.
It's going to bring a new contest into play. It just says discard and replace it with a random one. Okay, so I will do that right away.
Look at that.
Yep.
So we have no idea what's coming up. Put them over there.
I did put them over here. I was not prepared for this.
We didn't think we'd get that card.
No. Okay. So I will randomize. And now we have a 4th contest for endgame points.
Oh boy. There we go.
And we have Air Show. So we're looking at the propellers.
Nice.
Whoever has the most of those will get an additional 4 points at the end of the game.
See? Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
And there are none there, but that's where, if you, oh, there's one up here. Okay. And that's where you might want to wipe the board. You have to spend $1 to do it, but you can spend $1 to wipe the board and bring out 4 new cards if you're trying to look for specific cards.
Indeed.
All right, so that was that. So it's over to me to start the round. So my abilities are back in play. That's exciting. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these 2. Favor and Jazz. Okay, let's get some combinations going here.
Every time you say jazz, it makes me think of Chicago. It takes every urge, like me, not to start singing all that jazz. I'm sorry.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm taking the 2 society actions.
So there is some lag. If you're watching it on Twitter, I believe, or sorry, excuse me, Twitter. On Twitch, there isn't a lag. I know on YouTube there's a lag, but are you seeing lag in certain areas or just in general? Because it is slightly behind on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me know, and then we'll take a look and make sure that everything's hooked up properly.
Okay, so I'm going to take the society action, and I'm going to spend a hooch so that I can take Maud Nelson's upgraded action, which is one of the top cards in my Speakeasy. And that lets me take a society card plus get 2 reputation. And I will take that one.
I love how everyone knows my Chicago reference and all that jazz.
And then I will... Do I do it again?
No, you don't need to do that again. Did you just...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Unbelievable.
No idea what you're talking about. Nothing to see here.
Right.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to host a soiree.
Yeah, of course you are.
So that will get me 3 more reputation and $1 more. So 2 becomes 3. And just like that, I went from bottom of the line for reputation. Now I'm up 6 spots on the track. So that's fantastic.
I got the whole chat now singing Chicago.
Nice.
Start the car, I know a whoopee spot. Okay, that's it. I better get back to the game.
Over to you.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, I feel like I might need to amp that little situation up. Do I want to? I might have to do that now. Didn't want to, but I think it's going to happen. So I think we're going to roll green.
Okay.
And what do we have? So we got some jazz, and we have society. Oh dear. Or sorry, collections, excuse me. Yeah, this is not going in the way that I would like. And I have no money. Ha! So there you go. Wow, that is horrific. I can't even re-roll these.
There's the conundrum.
I can't even re-roll them. They're awful. Awful, awful, awful. I might have to lose the reputations, which I really don't want to do, but no. We're going to do this. So I'm going to take this here.
Okay.
So there we go. Add it to
And
my
losing a
collection.
reputation.
Yes, and then
gaining $4 before you do anything else. Don't
yes,
forget you get $4.
let me just pop that there so I don't forget.
Okay.
And now, so I've got money.
Yep.
Yahoo! I'm unfortunately losing more reputation, but at least I can take a token that allows me to, do any action on another.
So the start of the game does feel extremely tight, where you need reputation to get money, but you need money to get the reputation, and it's sort of a slow build to get the engine going. But once you've got sufficient amounts of each, then it becomes, okay, where's my best route to get some points for the end of the game? So I do like how you're sort of, you build the engine as the game's going on, even though you're working with only 4 stacks and whatever the top cards are in each stack.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, that's it. I've made best friends with people in the chat. Chicago's the best.
All right, so you're first player.
All right.
And that is now a 4th scoring card. These rotate through, and we have Jailbreak. So Jailbreak, there's going to be more crime. Everybody gets a crime card. You're first player. You can go ahead and pick first, so take 3.
Oh boy, here we go.
Pick 1.
Ed, time to watch Chicago. Yes.
And then I will do the same.
What is this? Oh my goodness, this is horrific. I actually need to check what this does because I feel like it might be a problem. Oh goodness. Oh, well, never you mind. I kind of like where that's going, but I'm going to have to pay for it. Okay, so I'm going to keep this one, but I have to pay for it. Oops. And I'll pay 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
which
I'll
gives me
keep
1.
this one. So here, if you don't mind looking away for a second. There,
Sorry, I'm actually looking at the chat, so I'm not even paying
So
attention.
here's what I'm taking as my face down crime card. I'll explain in detail what that does if it's not obvious, when and if that flips over. Now, now that I have a crime card, actually, I'm going to show. So look away.
Yeah.
So the back of the card, the back of every card has this. So when you run a soiree, that's the benefit that you'll get, which is +1 to your reputation. And all crime cards have that. However, when you flip it over, the crime cards will either have nothing in the corner. So if it was a cop card, you would have no benefit when you run a soiree. Or if it was a mob card, it would actually have minus to your reputation, because this is just a random person. This becomes either a cop or a mobster. And if he's a mobster, that hurts your reputation. So you want to make sure you're timing your soirees properly. Ideally, run a soiree before you reveal any of those cards. All right, so that was the event, and you're leading this round. So we're down to the last 3 rounds.
Oh, boy. Okay, so, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. You know what? I think I'm actually going to roll the 2 white. Booyah. And it's going to give us, give me, I should say.
Someone
Society
looking to run a soiree.
And collection. I have no clue what you're talking about. None whatsoever.
I noticed you opened up that spot.
I'm also looking at other options here, depending on how rich I'm feeling. So bear with me. Yes, if I do, oh, that doesn't change anything actually. So I will, actually I've got 2 options there. Doesn't really matter. So I think I will take the collection action. Do I really want to do that though? I feel like that's a bit of a waste. And I won't, you know what? Rewind. If I take it, I could do that, but then I'm not really doing myself any favors by doing that. I'll have to go there. I'm going to lose 1, potentially. Okay, you know what? It's worth it. So I changed my mind. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go here, which means I'm going to lose a reputation, which is my last reputation, but I'm going to get a discount on a card, Flesh and Devil, which is 3, which is going to be for 2, which is my last $2.
Okay.
But we're going to slide that there.
But you're building your movie collection there. That's
exactly.
Good.
Keeping it going. And then I'm going to take the jazz and put it in the soiree.
Shock.
I know. Big surprise. But wait for it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 reputation. 1, 2, 3. And then I will get a money.
Yes.
And then I'm going to use my
multiplier. So there's the ×2 token.
Yep.
She gets to do it again.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 reputation. And another money.
Very nice.
So it was a fruitful turn.
It was.
And that's my turn. We will replenish.
Very good.
And there we go.
Okay. Now, with that ×2 multiplier, if it was an action that cost reputation, you would have to pay that reputation twice to do that action twice. You're exactly replicating that action. Okay.
Oh, nice. Ed. Fellow Canadian. Woo!
Excellent.
And from out west.
Nice.
So for people who don't know, we're in Ottawa, but I'm originally from, and Ottawa's in the east of Canada. I'm originally from out west. So I'm originally from Calgary, Alberta, Cowtown. So it's always nice to see someone from the west. I miss the mountains. Oh, goodness. Oh, and it's just us. Yeah, so Calgary, Alberta is where I grew up, but definitely, I definitely miss it.
All right. Let's go with.
And they had the Olympics in Calgary too, 1988. That was so long ago. And then the next year, Calgary Flames won the Stanley Cup. Oh, you know, I have the hockey stick signed by the Calgary Flames. Yes, when they won the Stanley Cup. Ah. It must be cold. It's colder here. We have like that wet winter versus in, I find out west, it's more of a drier winter. So it's cold, but then you get Chinooks, which kind of, it's like a nice warm wind, melts up some of the snow. A few days of nice warmish weather. Oh man, do I ever miss the west.
Okay, so I'm taking the society action.
Yes, Victoria is warm.
And, oops, I paid $1. I shouldn't pay $1. I should pay a hooch. So I'm paying a hooch to take the upgraded action from Maud Nelson, which lets me take 1 from the society cards and 2 influence. It does. It does. And I'm going to take this one. Louise Brooks.
Toronto, never. I'm originally from Calgary, but we're in Ottawa now.
And that lets me take an upgraded soiree action. I'm going to put that here. And then, with the other die,
Yeah. So hopefully I'm not confusing people in the chat. Born and raised in Calgary, Alberta, but I've been living in Ottawa for quite a while.
I'm going to run that upgraded soiree action.
I knew I was going to get some ask me about Toronto. I couldn't live in Toronto. It's a city. It's interesting. I like to visit. Not a place I could live. But lots of friends there. Love to visit. I don't know. It's funny. I love New York, and I spent a lot of time in New York City. And people say Toronto and New York are similar. They are not at all, in my opinion. But I don't know what it is. Toronto's a big city and lots of stuff happening. I just like to visit. Yes, Ottawa's very cold. Oh, Calgary was -15. Oh, yeah, okay, Calgary was colder.
I'm going to pay $1 to wipe this.
No! Why are you dashing my dreams? While you're dashing my dreams, I'm having a nice conversation with the chat.
Absolutely. Don't mind me.
Yes, I love New York. New York's great. A lot of my family lives in New York, so love it.
And I will take that one for $2.
Oh, will you now?
Oh, I will.
Darn it, I need to smarten up.
I'll put that there. Okay, that's me.
I need to up my collection. It's looking a little rough.
And that is the end of the round. So that comes back to me. We're on to the second last round. And now it is hard times.
Oh boy, this can't be good.
So we've got greatly reduced money for the favor tokens, and everybody has to discard a favor token.
I'm sorry, what now?
Everybody must discard a favor token.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I will do that. This is what, second last round?
Yep. And I'm starting it.
Okay. Yes. These ones we can play at any time on our turn, right?
On your turn,
Yes,
yep.
that's right. I want to make sure.
And it makes me nervous that you have 3 of them sitting there.
Take your pick.
Uh-huh. No doubt. No doubt. Okay. Yeah.
A little worried?
A little. A little. Okay, let's go with...
Actually, I need to potentially look at these. I don't even remember what they're about. Okay, yeah.
Let's go with... Oh, boy.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, wait now. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I'm going to take...
Actually, let me just see.
That. Let's see what we get here. Oh. Interesting.
Is it?
It is. I will take those. I will go there.
Oh, Ed, you're so sweet. So I'm trying to do more Dice Tower. So people don't realize I have a full-time job, so I'm trying as much as I can, but we also still have the other channel, To Die For Games, that I do video reviews on. So who knows, maybe eventually I will do some on the Dice Tower, but trying to balance it all is difficult. So between the podcast, Board Game Breakfast, doing a few, I think another one on Throat Punch Lunch. Wow, that sounds like a lot. And then reviews on the other channel, so yeah. So we'll see how that pans out.
All right, so I took 2 favor token actions.
Oh, whoa, hello.
Taking the corresponding tokens and... Oh, yeah, and I don't have any hooch. So yeah, that's me. Over to you.
Okay, I gotta do some amping up here. So I guess I could do my dice first before I decide to do that. Yeah, that might be wise, because I may have to do something else. Let's go here. Okay, that sort of went where I wanted it to. Not really. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I could do that. I want to do this first.
Okay.
So let's flip this.
Here we go.
Do I want to do this first? No, I don't want to do this first. I've changed my mind.
You're just trying to stress me out, aren't you?
No, no, I'm not. I swear. Don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I could do that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the 2 yellow.
Okay.
Oops. And I'm going to go here to the families. I'm going to take the shield back. That was taken away from me.
And $1.
And yes, $1. Why do I always forget these things? Boop. And then I will run a soiree.
So fancy.
I know. So we're going to get 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Reputation and another $1. So you know what? We'll just actually another $1. 1, 2, 3. So you know what? We'll do this. Make that a 3.
So you have a total of 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make our lives a little bit easier. And then I will do this.
Okay.
Haha. So this one means you have to give me a card out of your speakeasy.
I have to give you a card out of my speakeasy.
So let me just show everybody that card. So yes, Michael has to supply me with a card. Indeed.
Okay.
Yes, and at our monthly chats, I forgot about those. Yes, in addition to all other things that I'm doing. Okay, so you've given me this. Well, that's nice, eh? All right, we'll throw that over here. Boop. So
Merry
now,
Christmas, you filthy animals.
this is a question for you. So I'm assuming now, once I play this here, do I get this?
Yep, if it's on top of the stack,
What?
you have that ability.
Woo. All
And
right.
that's you, right?
So yeah, that's right. So this is a one time, right?
Nope, that is.
Oh no, this is
if
the
it
white
has
box.
the ability,
Yes,
if
that's
it has
right.
the ability symbol,
I forgot.
you pay the hooch for the
I always
upgraded
forget that with the
ability.
white around the box there. Yes.
So it's over to you for the last round. You're leading it. And it's a peaceful round in terms of events. Ain't misbehaving.
Wow, I feel like that's the opposite of Firefly.
Okay,
Or maybe it isn't.
you're starting the last round.
All right, so yeah, what would I like to do? All right, I think I really need to pull. I don't really want to do that. I think we'll do the blue. Okay, that's not terrible. That is not terrible. So if I take that action and I pay a hooch, then I'm going to get
You get to reputation as well.
a society card into reputation.
Yep.
Oh, well, I can't complain about that now, can I? However,
I can, because you took that from me.
true enough. True stories. But I almost, yeah, that's not going to happen. I won't win with that. How are we doing? What are we looking at here? So that's not going to fly for me. I got to find another option that can work. Okay, so I will, in fact, wow, that's not great either, eh? I could do that. And okay, so I'm actually going to take this here.
Okay.
So by going here, I'm going to get rid of a hooch.
Yep.
Oops, as I make a mess of my hooch pile. You can alter that up there. So I'm going to get one of these.
Yep.
And I'm going to get 2 reputations. So with that being said, I will take this one here.
Okay.
And do I want to cover this? Doesn't really matter at this point.
It's your last turn.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll get my 2 reputation before I forget. And that is going to cover that. Oopsie.
So that's an upgraded ability for the crime section, but
Right.
this is your last turn.
Exactly.
So,
And then finally, I'm going to take this action here, which will lose me a reputation. But I'm going to get a discount on a card. I only have 4 monies. So I'm going to take... Oh, is this my last turn?
Yep.
How many of these can I play on a turn?
How many do you want?
Excellent, because we're going to have to do that, I think. I'm going to play... Sorry, so I'm going to pay for this.
Yep.
I get a discount, so it makes it 4. And we'll pop that over there. And then... Interesting. Shh! You need to pipe down there.
I'm just saying I don't like this.
No, sir. I don't like it.
No, sir. I don't like it.
So I'm actually going to play this one.
Okay.
Samuel L. Battle, which allows me to swap some cards.
Yeah, it does.
Interesting.
Can you grab that?
Yes.
So this is one of the rare ways to swap a card. So Samuel Battle, it is a cop card, so she had it sitting there just in case I pulled a mob card out. This would have provided protection. But if you flip these sooner, then this is a recurring ability. Once per turn, you can swap 2 cards in your Speakeasy.
I'm actually almost wondering if I should have flipped this one first, but that might have made a difference. Can I do a rewind?
Okay.
I wanted to pretend I hadn't flipped this.
Sure.
I wanted to flip this one first. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
But that's not going to happen right now. And then I would have flipped this one.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because I'm not doing them.
Right.
So.
Okay, so the order that you flip them doesn't matter then.
Well, it kind of does because I want to swap. It's any 2 cards, right? So I want to swap these 2.
Okay, so you're not using that ability.
No.
Okay.
That's why.
Sure. Yep.
So I wanted to show that, but it's important because of what's the symbols.
Sure.
So people are wondering what happened there. There's a reason why I wanted to do in that order, because if I had done this prior to flipping this card, it would have been face down.
Yep.
And then I wouldn't have been able to receive some of the icons that are listed.
That works for me.
And I believe that's my turn unless these are worth...
Nope. It just makes it into a wild. So if you haven't used it,
you might as well just use it now. So...
But you don't have any more dice
But I have no more dice to place.
It changes the die
That's right.
face.
This is the change. It's not the double action.
No.
Yeah. See? I knew I should have taken that double action.
Okay. So I get one more turn. I may be in a bit of a jam here. Oh, never mind. There's the solution right there.
You found it, did you?
So one of my worries. So here's, because we're going into the last round, I'll show you what I need to accomplish. This is my second column as it currently stands. I have a nice horse collection going here, but unless one of these horse cards is the topmost card in my stack, I'm not going to get those points. I'll get 1 point per collection card, but I won't score the 6 points that those could be potentially worth. So I need to get one of those to the top or find another one. Conveniently enough, Mandy just took one of the collection cards that then unveiled a new horse card. So as long as I can get that, I'll be fine. And I do see a collection option there. So then, let's see here. I'll start by flipping this over.
Yes, we're getting into those last moments.
So I did have that cop card as a safety net because Mandy had 3 crime cards built up ready to go over there. Right. I wanted to have at least the ability to block one of them. Giving up 1 card from my Speakeasy wasn't that big of a hit, so I was okay holding on to that for the last 2. Turns out she didn't have a mob card, so now I'm safe to flip that over. And this, once per turn, lets me swap 3 money for a ×2 or a ×2 for 3 money.
Nice.
And I may end up grabbing a ×2 just to get that one more action out of this last turn.
Yep.
I just need to decide what I need to do. I know I need to go here. Leading that, wouldn't mind grabbing a shield. Okay, so I'm going to take these.
Bullets? We're tied.
Oh, right, you've got one out there too, eh?
I could have said nothing, but let's play fair.
Okay. So, let's see here. I will spend that, so I'll spend $3 to get a ×2.
Oh my gosh, my chat's just way off here.
Okay, let's see here. Now, I do still have this 4th column unlocked. I did give Mandy my card from here, but you only ever have to pay that fee once. The $1 for the 3rd and the $2 for the 4th. So if I take this, I could make that anything I wanted. I could do it twice.
Oh, and it's gone, Mr. Bayonet. Thanks for joining.
1, 2, you've got 3 shields over there.
Oh, yes.
All right, then here's how I'm going to play this.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I'm going to the collection. I will pay $2. So I've got 4. That drops me to 2. I'll just flip that over. And I will purchase Zev and put in there. Then I will use my wild. Is this the way to do it? Yeah, I'll use my wild. So that lets you change to any die face on a die. And I will make it the favor token. And I will take this action twice. So I'm going to take 2 shields.
Yep.
And $4.
Okay.
Okay. That is it. So now we start adding it all up. So when you go into the scoring round.
Scoring. So we'll see who's going to win.
A lot of things to look at here. So the first step is looking at the set collection for the favors. So that would be the 2 mob families and the cops. But it also counts any cards that you have within your speakeasy that match those symbols. So first we'll look at the Marizano family. So we're looking for those laurels. You have 1?
Laurels, yes, 1.
All right, and I've got 2.
You've got 2.
So I'm leading that. So if you were playing with 3 or more players, the point breakdown would be 10 points for first, 6 for second, 2 for third. If you're playing 2 players only, it's just the 6 and 2. And you need to have something to get the points, obviously. So let's say Mandi had 1, I had 0. She would get 6 points, I would get none. I don't get that 2-point second place for not having any. So I would get 6 for that family, and you would get 2. Then we have the Masseria family. I have 2.
And I also have 2.
And you do. So
2 here, 1
that's
here,
a
1
tie. So it would be splitting the points, but I'm just going to say that's a wash because it's a 2-player game. So just to make it all easier. And then cops, I think I tied you up there with that push to get 2 more at the end. So I've got 3 and you've got 3 as well.
Correct.
So Mandi has the 1 sitting here, but she also has 2 cards that match that. So that's why I needed to push to get those final 2. So again, that's tied. So that's a wash. Contests. So now we look at the set collection for these to see who has the most. So first we have the cameras. I have 1, 2, 3 cameras.
I think you've got that because I definitely don't have any.
Okay, so I'll be getting that one, and I'll add them all up at the end. Most money, I've got 6.
That is all you. I am broke. This is not looking good.
So I'll take that one. I think you got this one. I don't think I got
snuck that in
any
right
of those.
at the
Yeah,
end.
you got that at the end, so you can take that one.
Thank you.
And then the propeller, I have 1.
I also have 1.
All right, so that's a wash at that one. So
Right.
I get 8 points for the contests.
So yes, more
you get
points,
4.
salary stuff, and
Yes.
does the pad come in the game?
No, but
No,
I
something we're gonna
did
talk about.
I actually
Yeah.
did speak
We
to
did,
one
okay.
of the I did speak to one of the creators about that, and that is something that they're pushing for to get that into the game, because any like I mentioned to them, any game that has a point salad type ending, it's nice to have a pad so that it's easy to know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, then reputation. You look at your reputation at the top of the track, and whatever that starburst has on it is the points you're going to get. So you're going to get more here. You've got 12. You're 1 shy of the top. And I'm going to get 9. Collection cards. Every collection card in your speakeasy is worth 1 point. So right now we're just looking at how many collection cards you have. So it's going to be anything that has a number next to it, you know, as a collection card. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 points.
I also have 5.
Okay. Then we look at endgame scoring. So now you're looking at the cards that are on the top of your deck for endgame scoring. So for example, for cars, I do have a car here, and I have 2 cars within my speakeasy. Low points, they're only worth a total of 3. The horses, I do have 3 horse cards, and I have a horse on top, so that is a total of 8. So I'm getting a total of 11 cards for my endgame points there.
Oh, did you just count your actual point values?
As long as you have a top card, yep, that matches it.
All right, so
And
here we have 8,
This is where
10,
Mandi's going to clean up.
11, so 15.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Then, hooch. At the end of the game, every 2 gets you 1 point. I have none. And you have 2. That gets you 1
point.
point.
Yep.
And lastly, money. Every $3 gets you 1 point. So I'm going to get 2 points for that. And that would be a 0 over there. No monies.
No monies.
All right, adding it up.
Oh dear.
6.
Did you count reputation?
Yep.
Perfect.
I did.
See, I missed that. I actually have a decent amount this round.
You did. So 6, 18, 23. You've got 39.
Wow, I'm consistent.
41.
Look at that.
2 point game. Wow. I actually thought you might have pulled that off because you had
it was
you
close.
had great collections.
I was really hoping to get a higher value for one of these cards. Like that I didn't want, but it was all that was coming out. So
sure.
I had no choice.
Yeah. Well, you had a nice collection of them going.
I know.
Though, right?
I was really hoping to push
just with
for
the
it,
movies
but
alone, you had 11 points.
It's just the monies.
Anyway, there you go. 39-41. A very close game.
Very, very close. So we can. So that's it. That's Speakeasy Blues.
That is Speakeasy Blues.
Switch over to the other screen so we can have a little chat with all of you about the game. So, for me, when we first started playing this game, I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, it's going to be some dice. It plays in the dice. You know, I was worried it was going to be boring, that I was going to be bored with the actions. So for me, I enjoyed myself. I don't know. For me, I felt like there was something maybe a little bit missing from the game, and I don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's just because I didn't find it complex enough. And a game doesn't have to be complex to be interesting. I do think this here definitely improves the game for me, because then your goals that you're looking toward for the end of the game, but also things that affect your gameplay during the game. So I like that, and I like the aspect of the the negative versus the positive. So the police versus the crime families in the game, and those can be played out of turn and affect another player, or give you bonuses. Okay. So I'm just not sure. I think I'm on the fence about how I feel about it.
Okay.
So not a bad game mechanically. It's good. Nope. I really like the art. I don't know. I just feel like there's something missing.
Okay. I'm enjoying it. I don't think we really used crime enough, and we were both pulling the cop cards. I'll show you some of the abilities. Like, for example, if you pull this crime card, you can really start messing with other people. You take 2 hooch from somebody else, or find another crime card. No, that's a cop. That's a cop. Oh, this one. This one you used on me before. Willie Moretti. So there's a text box on this one. No symbols there. The text box reads, place anywhere in an opponent's speakeasy. They must pay 1 hooch to place a card on top of this one. So it basically locks down a stack. But not only locks it down and they have to pay to unlock it again, it's now affecting what may have been endgame scoring on top of their stack. So even if, say you do that, even if I do pay the 1 hooch to place something on top, I've lost that card that I want to have on top at the end of the game. So now I need to find a way to rearrange my cards to be able to score those. So that can really mess somebody up. But we were both playing a bit more of a defensive style game at that point.
I mean, I'm looking at a comment from Thomas, and I think maybe that's the element that I'm missing. So Thomas says, I wish there was more interaction between the players. And maybe that's...
Well, and like I said, and that would probably fit into it.
Sure.
If you go more for the crime cards, that's where you now start targeting other players, and you can really affect their build, their engine build, and their scoring build within their speakeasy. So we played a little more defensively that game. We didn't go for offense and grabbing those crime cards. We grabbed cop cards for defensive purposes. And even, like I said, with this ability, I actually could have used this more. So that's the one that I had, where I could trade in $3 for a ×2 ability, or a ×2 ability to get $3 back. I did not flip that earlier because I was afraid of all the cards, the crime cards that Mandi had stacked over there. So I figured I just need to have a cop in my pocket in case she pulls something that's devastating to my build. So we did play that game a little more defensively. But if you're looking for more interaction, that's the deck you go for, because that's where you can start attacking other players.
Right.
I do like the action selection with the dice, because you not only have the dice pool to look at and see if the action you want is there, it's also a matter of opening up the action you want to take. Like I was saying earlier, if I want to go for a collection card on my next turn, neither of those spots are open. So I need to pay attention to that and open one of those spots up. So I might take the green dice so that I've opened up a spot that I can use now. And if there was a collection die here, I already know which dice I'm going for. I'm just rolling these to put them back into the dice pool. And then, yeah, with all the various actions that you can get out of the society cards, there's a lot of interaction between all of the various mechanisms within the game. There's various ways to get money, but sometimes it seems like it's hard to figure out, I'm so short, how do I get some money? You know,
Right.
But there are various ways. You could go to the favors to get money from here. You could go and host a soiree and get money based on the top card in your stacks. And like you're saying with the event cards, that randomizes how every game is going to play. You know, we were very tight on money at the start of this game, but previous games, money wasn't really an issue.
Right, exactly.
So the game will change every time that you play it as well. Yep.
So Mike says something here. Sorry, Mike Jones. No, really. The aesthetic is more post-war than Roaring Twenties. Maybe that's creating the distance. So,
Maybe.
and that potentially could be it. So
Sure.
I don't know if that's the same vibe that you were getting, but yeah, definitely with some of the
Now,
characters.
there's a lot of art missing on the cards right now
Right.
because, again, this is the prototype version. So a lot of that is still due to come. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the art itself, I think we can all agree, or most of us can agree, that the art is really nice, what they
Yep.
have so far. I
Yep.
really like it. I'm a big fan of this, this era.
Yep.
And, some interesting things that have history with that. So for me, I really enjoyed that part. I just, and I think maybe that was it, that the interaction there was missing. I mean, I don't necessarily need something super cutthroat for it to be interesting. But, you have other games kind of like Mystic Vale where you play the game, but you don't have to talk to anybody at the table. I mean, yes, we do have a little bit of that, but
Yeah.
I feel maybe that's what I find was missing because the game itself is
And
good.
like I said, I think that's the crime deck that we didn't use.
Right.
We were too defensive in this play of the game. Now, if we were playing 4 players, I think that would change drastically because
Sure.
if you have 4 players, the crime deck's going to get used more.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
just by the fact that there's going to be 4 players at the table, that will get used more. And now people might be more aware of, okay, who's got crime cards that are still face down that I need to be aware of, or should I go on the attack and start pulling some mobsters out of there and start going
Right.
after other people? So yeah, there was some interaction that we didn't do just because we were playing defensively this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall for me, I liked it,
Yep.
but I do wish there was potentially a little bit more interaction in the game. I just felt that was kind of missing, and I felt it. And like, you were saying before, it could potentially be because of the cards. We're playing with 2 players. It does play a bit differently.
Yep.
With a 4-player game, you may
It'll open it up.
Right, you may have something a little bit different.
Yep.
So, exactly. But I know you overall really, really liked it, or
Yep,
really
I'm
enjoyed
enjoying it. Yep.
which is great.
Yep.
So,
And I love the theme, and
Yeah.
yeah.
so
It
overall
speaks to
really-
me. Yep.
It speaks to you. So,
If I can have a drink called the bee's knees while I'm playing this, I'm happy.
exactly. So, apparently they want you with a fedora. So, I don't think it's going to happen here.
It's serving multiple purposes right now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
For anybody that knows there's a little Easter egg for you. For anybody that knows what is holding up the fedora, then you know what is holding up the fedora. But if you
Exactly.
can't tell what it is from what you see, then I can't really reveal it. So there you go. People will be
dear.
looking closer trying to figure out what that is.
So we have something here. The player boards are the bar design, since those are your own speakeasy. So someone was talking about the aesthetic here with the kind of like lines and squares and how it looks a bit different here. Here it looks more like your bar. So people
Yes.
were wondering, how
This is
will be
your
different.
speakeasy here.
Right.
This represents your speakeasy. In terms of representation here, you know what? I'm not really sure what that is representing. This clearly is representing
Oh
your
yeah,
speakeasy.
for sure. You
Yep.
can totally see
With
that.
the bar at the back, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So, and
The reason you've got the champagne bottles in the middle, if that's what you're asking, because that action in the middle is the soiree. You're hosting a party at that point. So
right.
pop the corks and host the party. Yeah.
And Needs of the One, thank you for joining us. I know it was a bit later, so
Yes,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. So yes,
Good to see you again.
thanks for coming by.
Yes.
So we have a guest in
Yeah.
the chat, so you can take a look and see if that's
Yep, that's the one.
correct. That is the one of my choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it, I think. So unless anybody has any other questions, we have Jessica in the chat. But I think that we've covered it. So it's still on Kickstarter for another 10 days. So if you're still interested, you can swing on by and check it out and see if it's something that you'd like to back. Jessica is in the chat. If you have other questions with her, she can continue to answer the questions. I didn't say this at the beginning. I guess I can say it now. So now we have one email. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, MichaelandMandiPlay @gmail.com, and it's Mandy with an I.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's something you want to see, or you just have questions for us, or just say, hey, you're all doing a great job.
And I put that in the description of this video as well.
Yes,
I have put it in there.
No,
So,
that's perfect.
yeah.
So then that way, if you have anything, that's where you can contact us.
Yep.
So we will be back next week with Hero Realms.
Yes, the campaign.
The campaign. So it's the, why am I blanking on it? Thandar. It's the Ruins of Thandar. I believe that's the
Yes, that's right.
subtitle.
Yeah,
Right.
the campaign box that
Right.
is just now coming out. I'm still waiting for my Kickstarter copy, Mandy, because she was able to go to Essen. Lucky girl, does have her copy. I'm still waiting for my Kickstarter copy of it. But next week we'll be playing Mandy's copy of the campaign for Hero Realms. Yeah.
Yes, so look forward to that next week. So we'll post that up on the Twitter just to remind you when it's happening.
Yep.
And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Some great chat.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yes, and I'm going to address this really quickly with Mike. He was talking about the visuals. So we end up using, we have to buy all this equipment ourselves. So we're using high-end webcams. I actually have a really, really nice video camera, but that would involve us using a video card and then buying a whole new computer. So that is a little out of the budget. So this is as best we can do.
Yeah, we're working with what we have. I would love to upgrade the quality of the cameras, especially the close-up one. For the close-up, I'm using my actual integrated laptop webcam. So that's as good as that's going to get for the close-up. But with the 3 cameras, we're trying to do as best we can with what we've got. It would require major upgrades to be able to get better video. Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's what we have right now. I'm so sorry. So as best we can do, we also post pictures of everything on our Instagram and Twitter. So if you want to see a more up-close view of everything. So thank you, everyone, so much for joining us, our regulars and the newbies.
Yep.
Thanks, and we'll see you next week. Hero Realms, pretty sure it's the Ruins of Thandar.
Yes.
We'll see you then.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.